G'day, it's Pete here, and I'm back for a featured lesson. Today we're going to be talking all about the Lebensohl convention. Now, there's a convention that can cause a bit of confusion for some people, and there's different ways to play it. So today I'm going to go over what it is, when it applies, and the basics of it. And then there's sort of some extra complicated stuff. I'll just touch on this, but I don't actually recommend playing it, because that's basically the main source of confusion. But it's important to understand that if you agree with a partner and just say that we're playing Lebensohl, they may assume that, so let's just play like basic Lebensohl and none of the fancy stuff, because the fancy stuff doesn't come up, and when it does, it confuses everyone and causes losses. So basically, we'll just talk about the basics of Lebensohl here. Okay, so first of all, what is Lebensohl? Well, it's a convention to basically generate extra space. So let's look at a situation here. Let's say that it goes one no trump from our partner, and the next hand comes in with two hearts. The opponents have intervened, and we want to try and get some space back. So if we look here, and it went one no trump, two hearts. If we wanted to play in spades, before they intervened, we could show weak spades, invitational spades, game-forcing spades. We could do this with hands with 5 spades. We could do this hand with 6 spades. So we could give partner a choice of playing in there or not. And now that they've intervened, they've taken away some of our space. So if we just look at some of our bids here, we could bid 2 spades, we could bid 3 spades, we can bid 4 spades. That's all we've got. Now, if we bid 4 spades, that doesn't leave the option of 3 no trumps up. If we bid, and then we've only got 2 spades and 3 spades to try and define all those other hands that we have. And it's sort of too hard to actually do that. Even worse still, let's imagine that we actually wanted to play in a minor here and bid to 3 over minor. What if we wanted to play 3 clubs? What do we do with weak clubs? What do we do with invitational clubs? What do we do with game-forcing clubs? All these hands, we've only got a 3 club bid. That still leaves 3 no trumps in the picture. But how do we stop in 3 clubs and things like that? So once they intervene, there's lots of issues about how we actually do this. So the Lebensohl convention is all about generating some extra space to actually do this. And basically what it does is it gives up competing to 2 no trumps. So it gives up the 2 no trump natural bid here. And basically when the opponents compete, bidding to 2 no trumps natural, not usually a good idea. It's something that should typically be avoided. So basically it gives up 2 no trump, and that is now completely artificial. And it says partner bid 3 clubs. Nothing to do with clubs, but it just says bid 3 clubs. And I'll go into some more examples of how this actually works. But basically you're asking partner to bid 3 clubs, and then you can show them what sort of hand you've got. So what this does is it basically generates this artificial level of bidding. So let's imagine that we wanted to bid spades, and all the ways that we could bid spades below game. So initially we've got 2 spades and 3 spades. But with Lebensohl, what we can do is we can bid 2 no trumps, we can have our partner bid 3 clubs, and then we can bid 3 spades. Okay, so we could bid it like this way. So we've got the 3 spades directly, we've got the 2 no trumps followed by 3 spades, and then we've got also just the 2 spade bid as well. So now, instead of just having 2 ways we can bid spades below game, we've now got 3. What if we wanted to play in a minor? So if we go back and look at bidding in a minor, if we bid 3 clubs, we've got this way. But now we can also bid 2 no trumps, and partner will bid 3 clubs, and we could pass that. So we've got another way of actually getting to clubs. Also, for diamonds, we could go through 2 no trumps, which partner bids 3 clubs, and we could bid 3 diamonds. Or straight away we could just bid 3 diamonds. Okay? So basically Lebensohl is just about creating this extra level of bidding, which allows you to show different hands. So if you look at all these different ways, if we were bidding at a lower ranking suit, so here when partner bid hearts, with not when partner bid hearts, when the opponents bid hearts, clubs and diamonds would now have 2 ways of bidding. But with higher ranking suits such as spades, we've got 3 ways of bidding. It's not defined by majors or minors, which happen to be in this case, but it depends on what the opponents bid. So if the opponents bid 2 diamonds, Then both hearts and spades, we've got 3 levels of bidding, but clubs we've only got 2. So we've got the 3 clubs or the 2 no trumps forcing 3 clubs. Whereas if the opponents come in with 2 spades, then for clubs, diamonds and hearts, we've only got 2 levels of bidding below that. Okay, so they're the it depends on what they bid as to how many levels of bidding we have. So if we're trying to bid a suit that's lower ranked than what they overcalled, we've only got 2 levels of bidding below the game level. And if we're trying to bid something higher than what they've bid, we've got 3 levels of bidding. And it's an important distinction to know how many levels we've actually got, including this Lebensohl convention. So when does Lebensohl apply? So there are 2 situations when Lebensohl applies. One is when our side opens 1 no trump and the next hand intervenes. Okay? 1 no trump and they overcall. The other situation when Lebensohl applies is when the opponents open a weak 2, your partner makes a takeout double, and it goes pass, and you're this west hand here. This is the other situation of when Lebensohl applies, where you can use this 2 no trumps as an artificial bid to say, partner, bid 3 clubs. I want to show you. I want that extra level of bidding to be able to describe my hand. Okay. So the 2 situations are when we open 1 no trump and the next hand intervenes, and also when the opponents open a weak 2, our partner doubles, the next hand passes. So let's look at some example hands. So here it goes 1 no trump and the next hand comes in with 2 hearts. Now, what are we meant to do with all these levels? So let's look at bidding spades. So here with spades, what we've got is we've got those 3 levels of bidding. We've got 2 spades, we have 2 no trumps, followed by 3 clubs, and then we can bid 3 spades. Remember that 2 no trumps and 3 clubs say nothing. All that 2 no trumps says bid 3 clubs, doesn't mention anything about clubs, but just says I want you to bid that to try and show something. So we can bid spades this way, or we can bid spades directly at the 3 level the first time. Okay. So the way I consider this is the Lebensohl convention is all about trying to generate an extra level of bidding. So the way I consider it is we've got 3 spades, 2.5 spades, and 2 spades. The 2.5 spades is the 2 no trumps followed by 3 spades. So if we tried to consider what our bids show when we've got 3 spades, 2.5 spades, 2 spades, what I like to consider is that 3 spades is game forcing and just asking partner pick between spades and no trumps. If instead we go through the 2 no trumps, which is alertable by the way, and so is the 3 club bid, and then bid 3 spades. This is the 2.5 way. This is weaker than jumping to 3 spades directly, so this shows the invitational hand. So this would be invitational with spades. And if we just bid 2 spades directly, this is just weak with spades. So if you bid at the 2 level, you're weak. If you jump to the 3 level, you're game forcing. And if you go through 2 no trumps and then bid at the 3 level, you're invitational. So when you have 3 options, that is how you describe these different hands. So they'll be with 5 card suits. This 2 spade bid should always be passed. But the 3 spade bid and the 3 no trump bid, you are offering partner 3 no trumps in the process. You might still insist on spades if you had 6 yourself. But basically, 2 spades, weak. 2 no trumps followed by 3 spades. So the 2.5 level, invitational. And jumping straight to the 3 level, game forcing. So with this hand here with 6 points, this hand you don't want to let the opponents just play in 2 hearts, so you'd really want to try and get in the way, bid 2 spades, either push them up to 3 hearts or try and buy it in 2 spades. If partner had really good support, say 4 card support, they might raise your 2 spades to 3 spades when the opponents bid over it. But this just says, partner, I've got a weak hand, no interest in game, and I want to try and play in 2 spades. I don't want to let the opponents play in 2 hearts. Okay, if we look at another hand, so here we have 8 points, and the auction goes the same. Now, here we've got 8 points. It's a good 8 points. It's got a 5-4 with all the points in the suit. Here I'd like to make an invitational bid. This is about the minimum I'd make an invite on, but I want to invite partner, but the opponent's got in the way. So how do we do this? We use the Lebensohl convention. So I bid 2 no trumps, which says partner bid 3 clubs. Nothing about clubs. It just says I want you to bid it I'm trying to generate some space. And now, if we bid 3 spades here, we're showing 5 spades and an invitational hand. So partner, do you want to go to game or not? Do you want to possibly bid 3 no trumps if you're maximum without a fit and a heart stopper? So lots of different options, but this is how we can show our invitational hand with spades. If instead we've got a really strong hand, so let's say we've got a hand that wants to game force and we have the same option here. This hand here, it's got 5 spades. We don't want to insist on playing in spades if it's a 5-2 fit. We also might want to introduce diamonds. So how do we tell partner that we've got a game forcing hand with spades and we need some more information? So what we can do is we can just jump to 3 spades. So if we jump to 3 spades, it says that we've got a game forcing hand with at least 5 spades. So partner could bid 3 no trumps with a stopper, they could raise our spades. They're the main 2 options. If partner bids 3 no trumps, we've got a choice of leaving it there if we want to, or maybe we bid 4 diamonds, depending on what you think you should actually do on this hand. But this is how we can show our game forcing hand. So when we've got 3 levels of bidding, so we're trying to bid a suit that's higher ranked than the suit that they bid, not necessarily majors, but usually majors. When we've got 3 levels, jumping to the 3 level, game forcing. The 2.5 level, so going through 2 no trumps, partner bids 3 clubs, and then bidding, that is invitational, and just bidding at the lowest level is weak and just wanting to compete. So if you just bid the new suit, so just bid 2 spades, it is non-forcing. You don't want your partner to raise. Someone said you can bid 3 hearts Michaels. I would have 3 hearts as like a stopper ask. I would not have it as a Michaels bid here. So it depends on what your agreements are and how you actually show all the stoppers, but I wouldn't play 3 hearts as Michaels. I'd play it as do you have a stopper. I think you could have it as Michaels, but I think checking for a stopper is probably more important. Anyway, let's look at what if you have a lower ranked suit. So let's say it goes 1 no trump and the opponent's bid 2 hearts. So here we have a long diamond suit. So what should we do with this hand? So we've got 6 diamonds and we're not really interested in game, but we don't want to let the opponents play in 2 hearts. We want to try and compete. So here, if we bid 3 diamonds, how is partner meant to tell if we are weak, invitational, game forcing, all those sorts of things. Now, we've only actually got 2 bids here. We've got the 3 bid and the 2.5 bid. We can't bid anything at the 2 level anymore. So when we've only got 2 bids, basically the invitational hand drops out. You just have to make a judgment call on the invitational hands. Do you bid game or not? So basically what we've got for bidding diamonds is we could either bid 3 diamonds directly, or we could go through the Lebensohl convention and then bid 3 diamonds. So these are our 2 different ways of bidding diamonds. Now, because we've only got 2 ways, we've got 3 diamonds directly and 2.5 diamonds by going this route. The 2.5 one is the weaker one. So if you go this way, this is just, I want to compete in diamonds. I have a weak hand or a competitive hand in diamonds. I'm not interested in game, but I just wanted to compete in diamonds and not let the opponents play. Whereas with bidding 3 diamonds directly, so let's look at another hand. Let's say that you've got this stronger hand and you might be interested in playing in diamonds or like diamonds or no trumps. So what you could do is, let's say it goes 1 no trump and the next hand bids 2 hearts. If you bid 3 diamonds directly, I like this to be game forcing. So when there's only 2 options, the invitational hand just drops out and you make a judgment call of what you want to do. But here you can bid 3 diamonds, say I've actually genuinely got a diamond suit. Do we want to play in no trumps or do we want to play in diamonds? That's what you can do. Okay, so that's what you can do. If there's only 2 levels of bidding, the invitational hand drops out. If there's 3 levels of bidding, then you can still show that invitational hand. And all you really need to do is use 2 no trumps to say, partner, all you need to do is use 2 no trumps to say, partner, bid 3 clubs, and that just generates the extra level. And you think of them as 3, 2.5, 2, and that clarifies how you actually show those different hand types. If we've got clubs, with clubs, what we can do is, not when they pass, but when they bid 2 hearts, we've got either the 2.5 by bidding like this, and partner we just pass, or we could have bid 3 clubs directly. Okay, so these are our two ways. And if we bid 3 clubs directly, that's game forcing. But here with this hand, we just want to compete, so we bid 2 no trumps. And then partner bids 3 clubs, which doesn't mention anything about clubs, but this time we just pass it out. Okay, so this is how you can show the different hand types. Okay, so this is when we open 1 no trump and the next hand intervenes. The second situation of when Lebensohl comes up is when it's been a weak 2. So let's say West opens a weak 2, our partner doubles and it goes pass. So again, the opponents have preempted us, they've taken away space, and we kind of want to get some space back. So what we can do here is we can also use 2 no trumps as saying partner bid 3 clubs and generate that extra level of bidding. So if we wanted to bid spades below game, because we didn't want to commit to spades, we've got 2 spades, we have 2 no trumps followed by 3 clubs, and then 3 spades. Or we could just bid 3 spades directly. Okay, so again we can use them as weak, invitational, and game forcing, and you can use them to show exactly just 4 spades. So if you didn't want to just jump to 4 spades on a 4-card suit, you could use this way if you've got firm agreements with your partner that you're actually showing a game force this way, which can be quite useful. So here with this hand, with only 6 points, you just bid 2 spades. Right. If we make our hand a bit stronger, so here we've got 11 points and the option goes the same, we could invite partner by bidding 2 no trumps and then bid 3 spades. Okay. If we make our hand even better with this hand, then you could just jump to 3 spades and show that you've got 4 spades and a game forcing hand. Where do you want to go? So this is what you can do when you've got 3 levels of bidding, and if you're interested in bidding a minor and you've only got 2 levels of bidding, so again we've only got bidding at the 3 level or the 2.5 level. So what we can do here is if we wanted to just play in clubs, we could just pass like this. If we wanted to play in diamonds, we could bid like this. But if we've got an invitational or a game forcing hand, what we can do, when we've only got 2 levels of bidding and our partner's made a double and we're trying to bid a minor, I find it's a bit better to have the invitational range. So I would have bidding 3 clubs or 3 diamonds, showing invites, showing a few extra values but not just committing. I think if partner makes a takeout double and you've got a game forcing hand, with a minor you can bid something like 3 hearts checking for a stopper or something else. So when you've only got 2 levels after the takeout double, the one difference is instead of dropping out the invitational range for the 3 level bid, I drop out the game forcing and just try and make that hand commit somewhere else. So here I'd have bidding 3 clubs as showing an invitational hand directly. Anyway, that's what the basics of Lebensohl are, just all about generating some extra space. Now there are other bids available. There's all kinds of things that you can do when you have when they open a no trump, about showing stoppers, not showing stoppers, and things like that. So just one more example here. So let's say I went 2 hearts, double. What would you do with this hand? It's got 6 points and 5 clubs. It's just weak. I want to play in clubs, so I'd bid 2 no trumps, and partner bids 3 clubs, and then I would just leave it there. Now, in this case, when partner makes the double, we're always just assuming they've got a normal takeout double. If they have a really strong hand, they can not bid 3 clubs because they're worried about you passing, so they can bid something else. But if they just have a normal takeout double, say up to 16 points, they'd probably just bid 3 clubs and leave it up to you. So that's what they can do. If they've got a really strong hand, they don't have to accept it, but they will accept the 2 no trump bid nearly all the time. So let's just bring up one of the hands again. Okay, so when our partner opens 1 no trump and and the next hand intervenes. There is a whole bunch of other stuff that you can do, some sort of more complicated stuff. This is, I don't recommend because it can cause lots of confusion with the opponents. But basically there are a few extra bids that you can do. So let's say that you wanted to bid 3 no trumps. Okay, you can just have that to play. Some people also have 2 no trumps followed by 3 clubs followed by 3 no trumps also show something. And you can define a meaning for this, but that can always cause confusion. Also, you could bid 3 hearts, or you could bid 2 no trumps, and then bid 3 hearts. Okay, so there's lots of different ways you can bid. So what do these different bids mean? Now, I don't recommend going into lots of detail about learning this and playing this because half the people that you play with won't know it. The people that do know it, they have different ways of playing it. And I'm not a big fan of this sort of area of Lebensohl. I find it causes more confusion than not. But if you do start up with a new partner and say Lebensohl, and they basically just say, we're just playing basic Lebensohl. What people do use these bids for, what they commonly use them for, is they could have 3 no trumps say, I want to play in 3 no trumps, but I don't have a stopper. Whereas having 2 no trumps followed by 3 clubs, and then bidding 3 no trumps saying, I want to play in 3 no trumps, but I do have a stopper. Now I find this very counterintuitive that when you want to play in 3 no trumps, you generate a problem for yourself to try and tell your partner that you actually want to play there. So I just dislike this practice. The other thing that people sometimes do is have 3 hearts saying, I have 4 spades, like Stamen without a stopper, and have 2 no trumps followed by 3 clubs, and have this as Stamen with a stopper. I don't like all this rubbish, so I prefer not to play it. What I do is I ignore the 2 no trumps followed by that other stuff because it's complicated, doesn't come up very often, and causes more headaches than it's worth. So what I like is just 3 no trumps, we're going to play in no trumps, and 3 hearts is, do you have a stopper in hearts? I think this solves nearly all the problems because on lots of those other hands that you have which wanted to bid those fancy bids, you can make a takeout double and find out more information from your partner. Anyway, that's really all there is to Lebensohl. The main uses for it is finding out that extra level of space and trying to tell partner how many points you've got. The 2 situations that it applies is when we open 1 no trump and then they intervene, or they open a weak 2 and it goes double and it pass, and we then want to bid there. And we can use those extra levels to show different point ranges. Now, if we've got 3 levels of bidding, we've got all the game forcing, invitational, and weak. Whereas if we've only got the 2, one of them drops out. And yeah. And then there's the extra stuff about bidding 2 no trumps and 3 no trumps, or 2 no trumps and then Q-bidding the opponent's suit. I don't recommend learning that stuff. If you just play with a partner, mention that you're playing basic Lebensohl, just using it for generating the extra levels. But it is there to be done. If you do want to add all this extra complexity into your system, feel free to. Like, they are spare bids that you can use and try and show different hand shapes. But frequency-wise, it just doesn't come up, and I find it causes more confusion than it gains. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this lesson on Lebensohl, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.